If you or someone that you love is struggling with suicidal thoughts and you don't know what to do, then you're going to want to watch this video where I dive into the risk factors, warning signs, and what to do if you or your loved one is struggling with suicidal thoughts. So let us dive into the video. In 2016, according to Public Health Canada, 11 people die a day by suicide. And the numbers, unfortunately, keep increasing, especially since the pandemic. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among individuals who are 15 to 34. It is also found that death by suicide is 3 times greater in men than it is in women. In Canada, 11.8% of the population have thought about suicide, and 4.2% have plans or attempted suicide. And these results are based on the survey taken in spring 2021. Worldwide, more than 700,000 people die by suicide each year. Throughout the world, suicide is the 4th leading cause of death amongst individuals who are 15 to 29 years old. These numbers are important because they can help us understand what is going on and how people are struggling. And we can do something, we can make a difference if we just know what to do and know what to look for. Okay, so the first step is diving into the risk factors. You will want to know the risk factors because this will increase the likelihood of someone who is struggling with thoughts of suicide to increase the likelihood that they might attempt or die by suicide. So these risk factors are important to look at, and by no means is this list exhaustive. Okay, so some of the risk factors that we want to look at include family history of suicide, child maltreatment, history of suicide attempts, exposure to violence, mental illness including but not limited to major depressive disorder and personality disorders, physical illness including chronic pain, hopelessness, irritability, aggressiveness, especially towards oneself, whether that is through language or whether that is through behavior, such as self-harming behaviors. Isolation and access to weapons increase the risk. Saying goodbye to family and friends, giving away possessions, putting affairs in order, such as making a will, or such as organizing one's home. These are sometimes subtle signs that not a lot of people realize, but these are warning signs. Mood swings, researching a means to die, using more substances such as alcohol, marijuana, and showing rage. So if we're seeing a cluster of risk factors and we're seeing a cluster of warning signs, these are red flags that should suggest that this individual is more likely to end their life because of the risk factors and the increasing risk factors and the increasing warning signs, that this person now is more likely to be in imminent risk of ending their own life. If you or someone that you know is showing warning signs of suicide, then early intervention is important. Early intervention could mean making a safety plan, or this could also mean going and accessing emergency services, such as going to the emergency department. So if you're finding that you or someone that you love is experiencing some risk factors, but they're not experiencing a whole lot of warning signs, then they might just be experiencing suicidal ideation. In which case, you, if you are struggling, or if your loved one is struggling, can create a safety plan. And if you're not too sure how to create a safety plan, you can click on the link below in the description box and you can access a free template to help you create a safety plan and to follow that safety plan. If you're in a position of feeling emotionally stable and you're feeling as though that you're able to center yourself, then create a safety plan. Because if you know that you're at risk for suicidal ideation or not being able to keep yourself safe, then in those moments where you're feeling overwhelmed, you want to be able to access your safety plan. So doing this when you're having a good day or having a neutral day will be very important. If you or someone that you love is showing multiple risk factors, showing a cluster of risk factors and a cluster of warning signs, then what you want to do is you want to support either yourself or the individual, and bring them to hospital. Here are some steps that you might want to take if you're in a position of feeling as though you're not safe and you're unable to keep yourself safe. If you're feeling very emotionally overwhelmed and you feel as though that you're not able to keep yourself safe, then contact emergency services right away. If you feel as though that you can't do this, or you feel as though that you need someone there, emotional support, contact your emergency support, contact a friend, maybe even contact a distress line. If you are really wanting the emotional support while simultaneously accessing emergency services, then you can contact a distress line. They can help with the emotional transition and help you get to hospital safely and quickly. If somebody else is at risk, a loved one, a stranger, and you're not too sure what to do, here are some steps that you can follow. The very first thing that you want to do is you want to listen. You want to listen to the individual, what they're struggling with, what is going on. Provide an open ear. No matter your beliefs, no matter your personal disposition in the moment, no matter what is going on in your life, as best as you can, listen with both ears. Then you're going to want to be transparent with the individual. You're going to want to say something along the lines of, I feel as though that you're at risk for ending your own life. And in order to keep you safe, it's going to be advantageous for you to go to emergency services. And I would like to support you in this process. By being transparent, being very clear, you are telling the individual that, yes, you're contacting emergency services, but that you also care, that you're in a position of ensuring their safety. And if they're caught off guard or caught by surprise and impulsivity is an issue, then they might right then and there end their life if they have means. But if you're in a position of being transparent, being honest, being genuine, then you're able to make more of a connection with that person. And that person will be more willing to go to emergency services than to be tricked into going into the hospital. All right, so next you're going to want to call emergency services together. You're going to want to do this together on the phone, so then this way emergency services has all the proper information, including name, address, and any other identifying information that's important. Go with the individual to the hospital if you can. But if you can't for whatever reason, ensure that you're getting the person's emergency contact information. For the emergency contact, you're going to want to get a name, a telephone number, a primary telephone number, and an address. These are the three primary factors that you want to focus on while getting that information. Then you're going to want to let the individual know that you are either going with them to the hospital and you will follow behind the ambulance, or that you will contact their emergency contact and tell them that so-and-so is in the hospital and that they need to meet that individual there. This way you provide the person with comfort, you let them know what next steps looks like, so this way they don't feel so overwhelmed. If you are unable to attend and go to the hospital with the individual, and or the individual doesn't have an emergency contact, then you can let the person know that the hospital does have resources that are available. They have psychiatrists on staff, they have psychologists on staff. If they need to be admitted, they will have a team of support. And if they're discharged, they're going to be discharged with outpatient resources. So going to the hospital is an added resource as to help with the closing in of the circle of care. So this way individuals are well supported. So it doesn't always have to be a very scary endeavor. And if you feel that it's appropriate, maybe you want to provide your contact information to the individual. Maybe you want to make a connection, a social connection, an emotional connection. So that's completely up to you if you decide that you want to provide additional support. Otherwise, once the individual is in the ambulance, their emergency contact is contacted, then the rest is really up to emergency personnel and the individual going to the hospital. So in this video, you learned about what the risk factors are, what the warning signs are, what to do, such as create a safety plan, or what to do if emergency services need to be called. So now that you have an idea of the process and what to do, now you can go off and save a life. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more engaging content. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.